Maroon Creek members, here we are in the bunker. Now I've driven around your golf course and I've had some time to be here, and I've traveled all over the world. I've played US Opens, I've done all that. The bunkers that you have here are spectacular. The sand that's in these bunkers relative to the design of the traps are perfect. If you had too firm a sand here with the way these bunkers are built, it'd be really hard to get the ball out. Okay, so this sand is perfect. I mean, it couldn't be a better texture. Now, because the sand is fairly soft, which that allows you to get the ball up, you want a sand wedge that has at least 10, probably up to 12 or 14 degrees of bounce if you can get it. Now, all that means is bounce means that the angle that the club has to come into the ball. So if let's say it had 30 degrees of bounce, well, the club could come in on a really steep angle and the bounce or the back of the club would still hit the sand, it wouldn't dig. So if you get a sand wedge that has 8 degrees of bounce, you've got to come in really, really shallow for the back of the club to hit so that it skids through the sand instead of digging. The softer the sand, you don't want something that's going to dig. So for here, my sand wedge has 14 degrees of bounce. So it makes these pretty easy to do. Now, let's talk about a bunker shot. What I find is this should be the easiest shot in golf to be pretty good at. Why? Because you can hit 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches behind the ball and still hit a pretty good shot. You can't do that in any other shot. So it's not about hitting 1 inch behind the ball or 2 inches or 3 inches. That's not what it's about. So what is the basic concept of a bunker shot? Well, all you're really trying to do is hit and throw sand. The ball really doesn't exist. All the ball is another grain of sand, or it's a rock, or whatever. So what you're doing in a bunker, the ball sits in the sand, your club's coming down into the sand, and it catches the sand, which the ball happens to be part of, and then all you're doing is you're throwing the sand out of the bunker. That's what a bunker shot is. Now, the club face is my hand. So all I'm really doing here is I'm hitting and I'm throwing the sand. Now, if I sit here and I hit and I throw the sand, see, the ball came out. So it's just hit and throw sand. That's all you're really doing.